It is Black History Month in the United Kingdom. As part of our celebrations, we investigate biblical narratives through the lens of African oral and written traditions. We will, therefore, explore the prophet Moses as a Black African prince. But before you are hasty to conclude that Moses was not a Black man, Ghanaian tradition holds many stories of their ancestry from Egypt, Israel, Judah, Babylon. One of such stories, not a fable, is that of King Asebu, the giant from Egypt. In the month of month, as part of my PhD study, I was privileged to visit the Bisanana Abreewa Museum at Sekondi Takoradi, Ghana, and that is where I first saw and heard of the story of King Asebu. King Asebu Amanfi, also known as the Giant of Asebu, was a warrior king and the founder of Asebu Kingdom in the central region of Ghana. History, Ghanaian oral tradition, has it that Asebu Amanfi, a giant warrior king, along with his brother Ofani Kweja, migrated from ancient Egypt to the central region of Ghana. He was a giant with an unusual physical appearance and a mighty man of valor, who possessed enormous spiritual powers. It is believed that he founded the Asebu Kingdom with his brother Fani Kweja after they fled Egypt. Asebu, the giant according to oral folklore, was the captain who led an army that chased the children of Israel during the Exodus. They crossed Lake Chad and went further down to Benin City and finally settled in Moor, around the coastal region of southern Ghana. After his men drowned, he could not return to Pharaoh. His name is traced to Memphis along the southern part of River Nile. They lived by the side of the river in the Chad territory called Sabu. It is believed that he derived his name Asebu from the river Sabu. After he arrived in southern Ghana, he established the kingdom together with his brother, who was a prolific hunter, Nana Atsekase. Asebu became the first king of Asebu Kingdom, and the prolific hunter became the first chief of Moor. They took some of the river and worshipped it as their god. When they arrived, they deposited the water in the middle of their object of worship, which has become the object of worship till date. He had a sister who was called Amanfiwa, Asebu Amenfi's brother. Fani Kweja took advantage of the incredible abundance of fish in the waters in the region and became the first chief fisherman. Cultural legacy. He was the first king of the Asebus, Amenfi Asebu. Amenfi was actually the person who fought and expanded the Asebu chiefdom and Abakrampa, all in the central region of Ghana. The annual Apayim Kesi festival is celebrated in his memory. His staff, which he used for his various conquests, also exists today and serves as a heritage object which accounts for his might. His fingerprints left on rocks in Asebu is testament and still exist today and serve as a sacred heritage site. Asebu, the town and a former Fanti chiefdom in the Abura, Kwamenkesi district central region, Ghana, founded by the giant warrior king in the history of the Gold Coast. Asebu was the first Fanti chiefdom to sign a treaty with the Dutch Republic, also known as the Treaty of Asebu, allowing the Dutch to establish Fort Nassau at Muri, now known as Muri. This was the beginning of the Dutch presence on the coast. In the mid-7th century, Asebu fought a series of wars against the Fanti Confederacy, eventually falling into their sphere of influence by the 1680s and becoming permanently integrated into Fanti by the 1720s.
The tourist guide is telling me Asebu didn't die.
Yes, it is upset. That is what history is saying. It didn't die.